Hello, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday, and welcome to another edition of Urfspace Live. This is the drawing show where I, your host, Chuck Whelan, draws pictures or shows you pictures that I drew before and discuss the topics of the day with my co-host, who's hiding in the corner here, Mr. Dale Sipperley. There he is. Oh, look, he's wearing his top hat today. That's nice. Well, I'm calling this the season finale. This is the end of season 697 of the show. And, you know, some people, you know, they've got shows that go for like 4 or 5 seasons. This show's got many seasons. But this is the end of this season because I'm going to be doing a couple of shows next week and the following week. Next Saturday, I'm going to be at the Schultz Museum in Santa Rosa for the Cartoonathon. And the following week, I'm going to be at the Peninsula Libraries Comic Art Festival Expo at the South San Francisco Libraries and Parks and Rec Center. That's the name of a building that has 2 ands in it. You got 2 ands just in the name there. And that's where will be the following Saturday. Sam will be there. Producer Sam helping me out as usual because of my inability to be able to walk or move or carry anything. Somewhat hinders my access, but like little shows like this where with nice friendly people, it's like easy for me to manage. So come on out to those if you would like to see me in action. Also, if you'd like to see me in action, there's a video posted. I just shared it on my YouTube channel, and that was taken last Saturday night at Lady Starbeast's Punk Rock Circus, I'm going to call it, but it was also the Kevin Moan album release party. And the Kevin Moan, he was very good, and Lady Starbeast was excellent. All the bands were excellent. And I did a couple of paintings. I did a painting. The first one came out very good, I think, and that was purchased. And the second one was okay. I got a bit lost in the second one. I don't know. I didn't really have a lot of time, and it came out okay. It was sort of like a skull. I think they had a skull on the stage. It was sort of Texas thing. I don't know. It didn't really come out as good. I should have just stuck to doing a cute girl. And then I remembered later I'd had a sort of backup idea in my head that I totally forgot about. But all right. Again, that was an easy in, easy out. People were very helpful. So that was good. That was that. That was busy April. I mean, I'm sort of dedicating my April towards going to do some things there. Aside from my usual routines of stretchings and exercises and things like that. So season finale, time for a retrospective. I look back. If you're a viewer watching this, tell us your favorite moments over the past 9,000 seasons.
Usually the ending of the show. That's my favorite moment.
It seems to be always the most popular. We'll sort of get to like the end of the show, and then suddenly people will start tuning in on Twitch and places and going, "Hey, this looks cool." I mean, they're not really interested in me just sort of sitting here talking. They want to see some art and stuff like that, I think. So, the more I'm drawing something, then I guess the more people will tune in. It's not a very organized show. I don't even know if I'm continuing it. If you'd like us to continue the show, please let us know. Otherwise, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's time to move on.
No, I would have no reason to get up on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't that sound nice?
Sleeping in? Yeah, no, we don't deserve it. We're horrible human beings. Speaking of horrible human beings, where's our mystery voice, our associate producer?
Well, I believe he's taking the weekend off, or he's investigating his college. So
Okay, I
hopefully,
don't
it's
think
sorting
that's
out his next
I don't
year.
think that's fair that he gets the weekend off.
No, well, you had the weekend off the other day to go to a gem show, so I think that's fair. In fact, that's very
You
fair.
mean week? You mean weeks ago?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I know he gets more weekend. He gets a lot of weekends off. But all right, you got the next 2 weekends off. All right, what have we been up to? All right, here's some cartoons I did this week from like these was just sort of mining through my sketchbook for some, see if there were some ideas. Is that flipped? Wait, okay, that's flipped. Hang on. Why does it always put that one on flipped? I tell it not to. There we go. I don't know if these. I mean, should I go ahead and finish these up? Are they funny? I need. I need
I
to pin
keep
some.
trying to see them.
Well, it's a bit hard to see. It's a sort of. It's like a factory with a big chimney, and it's spewing out all sorts of toxic stuff. And it says, "I just need to vent."
What are the others?
Like a lot of them come from things. I hear somebody say, "I need to vent," and then I
Well,
just think of that.
show us all of them, and we'll let the viewers decide, or I'll
Yeah,
decide.
I guess that was my plan. So I just need to vent. Let's see. I mean, I'll probably put them out, and anyway, I'll probably do them anyway. Okay, here's another one. This is one. He says, "I'd be lying if I didn't admit this is just who I am."
Okay.
So that's again something. I'm pretty sure that's something I heard somebody say on the radio. I decided he was a
Okay.
vampire jumping out of his hat to
Okay.
molest a
What's the next one?
lady. I don't know. The thing is, they make me laugh. I don't know. This one says, "I validate your feelings."
I like that guy.
Yeah, he looks like a bus conductor or something. He's a bit more finished. I don't know. I did him in pen, but I was like working on tracing paper, so I'm like, why am I doing this in pen on tracing paper? This one I don't know. This was sort of 2 half-assed cartoons. I'm not sure one. I don't know. And now, thanks to AI, everyone's got talent on the telly. And I sort of did this couple before. They sit around on the couch watching mindless television night after night.
Okay.
And one of them says, "I think I preferred it when everything was mostly crap."
Okay.
Makes me laugh. I'm making you laugh. That's a different matter. All right, this one. Okay, this one I turned into Space Gen and Henrietta Queen. So that's what I'm talking about. Like before, I have sort of nondescript figures. Now I can. Now they're sort of. I'll make them Astrokitty or Space Gen or Henrietta Queen.
Okay.
Okay, this one she says, "The people of the future think you're very primitive and stupid." Says Henrietta Queen.
Okay.
See, these make me laugh when I look at them, but I just don't know if anyone else does. This one I don't know. He's an incredible melting man. All right, now this was a book that went around my prep school. Apparently, it was a movie, but I've never seen that movie anywhere. It's called The Incredible
Yeah,
Melting Man.
it's a classic. It's a classic horror movie. It's completely.
I think it's a better book because I can't believe that. But I just remember seeing that cover and just being like very terrified, or not really terrified, but sort of fascinated by it.
Okay, if you haven't seen the movie, how do you know you prefer the book?
I haven't read the book either. I just like the cover of the book.
Okay, so you prefer the book, which you
I
haven't
prefer the
read,
cover of the book. I don't any
to the
reading of the book,
movie, which
or
you have not
any reading of
seen.
the book or watching of the film would only detract from the wonderful cover on the book, which I'm going to share with you
Okay,
now.
have you? I don't know if this is a thing in England or not, but have you ever heard the term "you can't judge a book by its cover"?
But likewise, you can't judge a cover by the movie that it's for.
I have no idea what you're talking about now.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, often the cover is by far the best thing. All right, I'm going to share this cover with you now.
Oh, my head already hurts this morning because of this shit.
There we go. Oh, it's been a bit funny about sharing the image. Wait, oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Can you see that? There it is.
Yeah, The Incredible Melting Man. Okay, fine.
But
I'm
it's
going to
just like
plot.
this cover, it's like photographic. There's the melt. So you get like the full makeup. It's probably the best shot of the makeup that they had. Wait, I'm trying to do
Yes,
this. So
that was
and
an old.
then this sort of little picture at the sidebar here where it shows him as a normal sort of 70s guy, because this was sort of in the 70s.
Yes,
And then
I
I guess this
remember
is
when
actually
the
stage
movie
2, and then
came
3
out.
and 4 are down here. So you see him sort of completely melt away. I think, that's another of those things that really contributed to my, I'm often drawing faces that look like that face on zombies and things like that.
I can't remember if Rick Baker did the special effects for that. It was.
I mean, it definitely, I saw that. I remember it very vividly, seeing it. Like there'd be a sort of pile of books, like on this sort of like shelf by a window, like in the corridor. Which I don't know, like why they were. I can't remember why they were books. People would leave their books there.
Okay.
And then it did the rounds.
In the
Now, I think
1970s,
James Herbert's the Rats, where the rats would eat you. Well, yeah. Go ahead. I'm just.
Okay, in the 1970s, practically every sci-fi movie had a novelization, and in most cases, they were written by Alan Dean Foster. Does it say on the cover there who the author is?
No, but I've got the page that image came from, which is the book. It says Phil Smith.
Okay. I'm not familiar. Phil Smith could be a pen name. I'm looking for the special effects makeup guy who did The Incredible Melting Man. It was Rick Baker. And that's a lot of colored corn syrup over a series of different masks. And that was all over magazines like Starlog, and I don't know if Fangoria was out yet, but they would talk about how they did the special effects.
Yeah, so all those magazines, and we would have some access again in the 70s and early 80s. We got the same publications, but during the 80s, then all of a sudden, I guess we got all our sort of British versions of things. It wouldn't be. It would be the same, but it would be the same content, but some content would be removed and new content would be added.
The irony is, if you go to a place like Barnes and Noble today, a lot of the fan magazines are from Britain. They're imported over.
Well, there's always a good culture of magazines there, and like all these sort of different, hobby magazines and stuff like that. Yeah.
I was told.
I'm sure a lot of it's gone away, but you used to go into the newsagents and there'd be these sort of big walls of magazines. I suppose it was the same here. Yeah.
Now, you could watch The Incredible Melting Man on Amazon. I don't know if it's on Amazon Prime. In fact, that might be something that our viewers may want to do instead of watching this show.
No, there's no other media. If you found your way to this show, clearly
all
you know how the internet works. Stay here and we'll tell you. All right, so that's The Incredible Melting Man there. So anyone ever read or seen? Is it a good movie? Did you see it, Dale, or read the book?
Oh, I can't remember. Incredible Melting Man. You have to have it's on MGM Plus streaming, but just go to your local used DVD store and pick up a copy, or just buy a copy. Buy physical media. What's The Incredible Melting Man go for on Amazon?
Well, this site I found it on, buy it on Amazon. It says ratings and reviews. But that's not got the same cover. I absolutely would only want it with that cover. See, look at this other cover. It's terrible.
You would probably only get that cover on an old VHS copy. Oh my goodness!
No, that was it was a paperback copy. That was a paperback.
Wow. The Incredible Melting Man Blu-ray is $25.
Well, that sounds like a bargain.
Okay, but if you want, you can still get the paperback. but it would be used. Oh my God, the paperback goes for $100
with that cover.
Yeah,
That's a good cover.
$95. I don't.
I mean, I remember that cover. There was two covers I remember, and then there was another cover, paperback cover of that at school. I remember, and it was like a large pair of round breasts with a bikini with like the stars and stripes on them.
Was this?
And it was a book like about somebody slagging off. I think he was basically slagging off America. I don't know. He'd been to America. It was like a sort of going on about terrible American culture.
Well, we are terrible.
But I was very fascinated by this big pair of boobs.
Have you ever looked for that book cover?
Frequently, but I can't find it.
Okay, so that's a challenge for me. Can I find that book? Are you sure it was a British book?
No, I'm not sure. I can't remember. You know, this is at I don't even know what it was doing there. This was my school when I was about 10. You know, we had a library with different books in it. You know, it was a small room, but it was sort of shelves all the way around and up to the top. And, you know, this was on those shelves. But I don't. It wasn't a very interesting book. I mean, the cover was exceedingly interesting.
Okay, we are a drawing show, so if our producer was here, he'd be yelling at us because we're not drawing.
Well, you're drawing, and I'm showing some drawings that I did already. I'm not really sure what else I'm doing, so I'm a bit worried about you starting on anything new right now. Because...
Well, no, you're here. Our viewers are here, if we have any. So it's time for us to draw. So what are you going to draw? I like that couple that's on the couch complaining about AI.
Yeah, I've drawn that couple before. The other time he said, "Can we watch mindless drivel again tonight?" That's just something I said once. Okay, the more you know, the sooner we'll have to deport you.
No,
I turned that one down. It was originally the sooner we'll have to kill you, but I turned it down to deport you.
Okay, yeah, I guess that would be an improvement. Wow.
Again, they're making me laugh, but I don't think they're making me think these things are funny.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know if that would be a good one to draw for today's episode.
Let's see. This guy, he says, "I don't have a perspective." Because he's only got one eye. So he got... But that's not really quite right, is it? That's depth of perception. So again, I don't really know about that one. He just doesn't have a perspective.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. This is another one where it was just two figures. I thought, well, I'll make it Astrokitty and Space Jet because then I can draw them. I did her a bit small. I think I can make her bigger when I scan it. All we have is the here and now and your time machine.
You know, I think that would be a good thing for you to draw. Is just everyone should occasionally draw a time machine.
Yeah.
When was the last time you drew a good time machine?
I mean, I've drawn several time machines in Urfspace.
Okay.
One of them involved watching, like, being forced to watch a pot
boil. Okay.
Like you had your eyes wide open so that you couldn't blink. Because like a watch pot never boils, and therefore that way you could manipulate time. That was it was a sort of Clockwork Orange. Clockwork Orange. And Juliet.
This is your show, and you have to eventually start drawing. What are you going to draw?
Well, I'd like to. I haven't printed that one out, so I mean, I could do that one. That'd be quite a fun one to ink. Maybe I'll put that. And you have to give me. I'll go print it out while we play the theme tune in a minute. We're going to look.
Wait! You're going to go leave me here Okay, if you're going to do that, put my drawing up on the screen. Oh wait, have I even?
No, I will do, but I'm not. We're not doing that yet. All right, you're getting ahead of yourself.
Hang on. Window. If you're going to go somewhere and print something out, at least put my drawing up so that people can watch me draw.
Yeah, I will do. I'm not doing that yet. Calm down.
Oh, God.
All right, here's one. I've come to an occlusion. That was just something Tina said. I didn't really know. There's different kinds of occlusions. I did a planetary occlusion. Don't panic, Earthlings. Nothing will change under our new administration.
Okay.
You're also weird. All right.
Okay. What amuses you the most?
Well, as you can see, I'm finding them all amusing. It's good to review them with you and see if I still find them amusing. This one says, "No, I'm not from Pluto."
Okay.
He's very angry.
Okay, we'll get in trouble with Walt Disney if you do that.
Well, there's no Walt Disney character that looks anything like that.
Yeah, but they own the copyright on the word Pluto.
Not the planet Pluto.
Pluto
He didn't say my name is Pluto. He's not from Pluto.
Pluto isn't a planet.
Yes, it is. Actually is the god of the underworld. He's the Roman name for Hades. Well, this one. I'm all out of ideas.
What is on the head?
He's got
the bulb. The bulb. I'm all out of ideas. Okay.
Some of them a bit stupid. I like the stupid ones. Trouble is like translating the stupid ones from like a little scribble, and then I got to make them into an actual drawing, and it's still going to be funny. So here you go. He says, "You are not alone." And what about this one?
Okay, that's just kind of scary.
That's why it's funny.
Okay.
Okay, that one's good. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with most of these so far. Hello, we are the Time Police. You are now. I have to work on this a bit. You're now passing. Let me read it out because I worked on the wording on this quite a bit. You are now passing beyond the limit of our jurisdiction. Good luck with the future. Maybe get a gun. That's just my idea about the Time Police, because I think we're leaving the area in which the Time Police can effectively control it. And so things sort of get much more weird from now on. You don't agree?
You have to make the choice. What do you want to work on this morning?
Okay, well, what I want to do is work on deciding if these are still funny in the morning. Okay, here's another one. Okay, this is another idea that I've had where I'm trying to translate it into a cartoon. Hello, we're your descendants watching you on VR. Obviously something went wrong with the time dilator. Pretend you didn't see us and we'll be gone in a minute. And then the dog says, "It's cool. AI fills in all the details." And then these people are sort of sitting here. That's really just to tell people my idea. The people in the future are watching you through virtual reality. They're walking around us right now with their virtual headsets.
Yes, but if you're going to do that, have those people be doing something embarrassing, like put them in bed.
They're just, okay. They're just sitting there having their dinner.
Yeah, no, put them in bed, or no, put them on the John. Put one of them on the
John. Then that puts the joke onto the fact that they're being in the John. The joke's not about that. The joke's they're sitting around minding their own business. He's like thinking, "Oh, I'm glad I wasn't on the job. I could have been on the job." You could be. They will do. It will. They will be able to. You'll say, "What's your privacy setting? Do you want to be able to walk in on people in the toilets or not?"
You're
Won't be our choice. It'll be theirs. Okay, here's another one. This is also sort of related to, again, it was one I did, and then I thought, well, it's related to this other idea I have that I haven't really developed at all. But it's the monkeys on the beach. And she says, "Isn't this paradise?" And he says, "I'm so bored."
okay. That one I like. That one I like.
Yeah, you like paradise. Yeah, paradise is probably quite a good idea to do. But I can do it as part of Urfspace now. I understand now that paradise fits in with Urfspace because of the aliens. Like that's probably Henrietta Queen's day job.
Okay.
She's like the alien on the beach. It's all looped together. I like beautiful everything. I've got everything's all combined into the Earthyverse.
Okay. Now. You need to add a little ruined Statue of Liberty in the background.
That is sort of part of the story in that, like humans sort of rise and fall all the time and the aliens are trying to sort of tweak us to get our genetics right. But but we keep sort of destroying ourselves. They have to sort of go back and rejigger our genes.
Okay.
But really, we're quite happy just sitting on the beach.
You've got to get started. Start drawing. You got to pick one.
Well, I could finish this one. The thing is, they all have to go and print one out. Well, I'm nearly at the end here. I don't know why you're in such a rush. Oh, what about this one?
You don't have to print anything out. All you have to do is just blue pencil it quickly and start inking.
Well, I've already done them in sort of red and pencil. Here we go. I'm the God Emperor Basingstoke.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all.
That's the self-portrait.
Okay. Okay. That's extremely Freudian. I don't think anyone outside of Basingstoke is going to get that.
I don't think anyone outside of my head is going to. But I think
no one outside of your head is going to get that one.
All right. What about this one? This one, he's a bit like Darth Vader or something. He says, "Time and space are doomed." And then this little chicken says, "Okay, but how would you like your eggs?"
Okay, that doesn't make any sense at all.
All right, but he's still got to have breakfast. That's the point.
Yeah.
Okay. The chicken's job is to cook up her eggs for him, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know. That's open to speculation. Why there's a little chicken that's the his part.
Okay.
Again, okay. Now I realize it's like me and Tina. Except Tina doesn't make me eggs in the morning, but it's typical that she wouldn't know how to make my eggs.
Okay.
She would have to say how eggs. I'll be like talking about how I'm going to conquer the universe. Not that she ever cooks any food. No, okay.
Okay.
Okay, this one I don't know. Originally I did it simply, and I tried to make it more complicated. He says, "Well, it was originally I need to disconnect. That's probably fine. I'm trying to make it more complicated."
Okay, I think you ought to stick with the.
Just like this, and I need to disconnect.
Stick with the Paradise one.
Stick with the what?
Stick with the one about Paradise where the monkey's bored.
You want me to do Paradise?
Yeah, that's.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to put the theme music on and print that out on a piece of paper that I can work on.
Okay, and you're going to leave without just showing the blank table and my tiny little talking head.
Yeah. Where's you got your art here? I'll put the art up in case I'm not back by the time it finishes. It'll be the Dale shirt. It'll be you and your art.
I don't know if you can
Okay.
zoom in on. That's a problem with Reflector in the iPad is that why don't you maximize the art as the screen and put my tiny little head in? Okay. So I'm doing the. All right, kids. I've already done the blue line. If any of you can hear me out there, Chuck has forgotten that he needs to put my camera back on. So I'm going to call him right now and remind him of this. Sorry about this, guys. So let me find Chuck on my phone. And he probably left his phone on the drawing table. And let's just see what happens. Thanks for sticking with us. Really appreciate it. In the meanwhile, I'm working on just a cartoon on my iPad in Clip Studio Paint. And Chuck isn't picking up the phone. I'd show you this, but you can't see me. Now I'm going to call his wife to ask her to ask Chuck to put the camera back on. Let's see if this works. Let's look for Tina. I don't even know if you can hear me. We'll find out in the recording of the show. So far, Tina isn't answering. Hello?
Hi.
Hi, Tina. This is Dale. Are you at home?
Yes, I am. And Charlie is printing something out.
Yes, and he didn't go back in and turn the camera on, as far as I can tell, so that people can see. I don't know if people can hear me while we're talking.
Yeah. You didn't turn the camera back on. Okay. He's got the message. He's going to go deal.
Okay. Thank you for helping me.
Sure.
Bye-bye. So if you can hear me out there in planet Urfspace land, Chuck will be running back into the studio any minute to turn the camera back on. I hope you're enjoying this moment of radio. And Chuck, you probably want to put on the artwork as well.
Yeah, you can't click on the thing.
Hi.
You don't know how to. You can't do any of this.
I'm not going to do it, and I don't do it. This is why we have a producer. And this is okay.
Look. What kind of show you think this is? All right, hang on.
Okay. Go back to your cave. And Chuck, could you maybe maximize the drawing? And he doesn't hear me. Sorry, guys. So this is the blue line, if you can see it. And it's in Clip Studio Paint. And then I started doing, oops, wrong layer. And then I started working out just a loose pencil sketch. And now I'm going to change the color of that by going to layer property. And I'll change that to nice cheery, I guess an orange. I want something brighter. How about that? Yeah. So I can see it. And now I'll create a new vector layer. I'll grab a pen. I don't know if I want this smooth G pen, or if I want to go and grab, there it is. Oh, it's, where are my pens? I was messing around with the pens. Okay, there it is. There's a rough pen that I like, which is all kind of scritchy, scratchy. I think I'm going to use the rough pen today. So let me undo those lines. And now I'll start going in. And I always start with the nose. I don't know why. I just like starting with a nose. I think a cartoon always hangs off the nose. And so now I'll go in and, oops, and then I always put the undo button under my thumb so I can.
See? It's not easy hosting a show, isn't it?
I never signed up to be a host. I signed up to be a lazy.
Sign up for anything, Dale. There's no signing anywhere involved.
I wanted to be a lazy Ed McMahon-like character.
Ed McMahon had to sign a very watertight contract.
He had to give Johnny Carson a piggyback ride before every show.
He did?
Yeah. Why do you think he was such a huge man? They had to choose a co-host that could give adult hosts piggyback rides. And he had to do it for the guests, too. That's why Johnny Carson was able to get so many people on his show, was Ed McMahon would give them piggyback rides.
Is that a fact?
Would I lie to our viewers?
I can't find my tape now. It's really confusing. Don't tell me I should have two things of tape, because if I did that, then they'd both be in the same room.
Okay.
But it's the other room, because I was working in the other room.
You were the worst example for student artists. Kids, know where your art supplies are.
I'm an art teacher. I didn't even have any art education, so how could I teach anybody else how to be an artist?
I thought that was the whole point of the show. We were in competition with Joe. We're in competition with Joe Woes.
Or Joe Was. Somebody was calling him Joe Was the other day, so I'm not sure how you say his name anymore.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's Joe Woes.
Well, right, these people are calling him Joe Was.
We have nothing against We have nothing
Like
against
that
Joe.
man was. He should fall.
We have nothing
Right.
against Joe
I
Woes.
like Joe Woes. I don't know what you've got against Joe Woes. I think he's a very fine gentleman.
He is a frequent guest at the Charles Schultz Museum in Santa Rosa, and I believe he still has his own show, which I forget the name of, which is on PBS.
Yeah.
It's a drawing show for kids. I don't know. I can't even remember the name of his comic.
Cartoon Academy.
No.
He does Maze Tunes, and Cartoon Academy is his show. And he's getting himself out there.
He most certainly is. He's the example you should be following, Chuck.
All right. Well, he doesn't have some of my challenges, unfortunately.
Yeah, you mean like being lazy?
Hmm?
You're lazy.
Okay.
I can't remember. Do kittens have thumbs? I think they do.
They have those little weird halfway back up their arms fingers.
We need to get another cat as a reference. Cats, yeah. Yeah. Cats should be sold in art supply stores. You should be able to write them off. I'll bet you
already have a couple.
I'll bet you that Jim Davis of Garfield, I bet he writes off all of his pet supplies because he can say, "Oh, well, I need these for the strip. I need these cats for the strip."
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that's why cartoonists would do dogs and cats. It's a tax scam.
Ooh, now I heard about this finger point nib that Jim Woodring uses. I was on a call with Pasha House, he had on.
I'm gonna restart the inking. I'm not digging the rough pen. I'm going back to the
Rich Powell. He had Rich Powell on. And he was talking about having met Jim Woodring, and Jim Woodring used this pen nib that's like a finger pointer, and the nib, it looks like a finger that's pointing.
Oh, I've seen that.
But that's what Jim Woodring uses, and it's also what Rich Powell is using. But I don't know. I'm quite like my Sharpie at this point. But I don't know. I'm always interested in trying something new, so I might try one of those finger pointers. Because I do like what Jim Woodring does. It's probably a bit unique. The nice thing about these speedballs is that you can sort of move them in any direction like a pencil. There's no sort of scratchy. I mean, there's a bit of that, but I mean, that you're not sort of limited to okay, you have to do this stroke that goes in a certain way all the time. Although that does look sort of neat, I suppose. It's just a different these are more sort of speedy, and actually I find you can get quite a lot of once you sort of get going with it, you can actually get quite a lot of line variation in it still.
You're talking about the dip pen nibs.
Well, I'm talking about these speedballs, which tend to be they're sort of flatter and smoother, and they're not sort of scratchy, but they're more for sort of lettering, and like those other nibs will give you a really sort of fine tip, but this one will too, but you sort of, it goes with sort of lighter pressure, I suppose. So I don't know, different people think about it different ways, but again, it's whatever's works for you, isn't it? I think you have to lean into the tool that you find that you like. That was some advice I heard the other day from Jake Parker. I was on a YouTube video.
Did you see that I posted that the NCS is going to have a little supposed webinar with Sergio Aragones?
Ooh, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's towards the end of April. Um, so you may want to Google the NCS and look for that and sign up. I already signed up. Our buddy Andrew Farago of the Cartoon Art Museum shared the info about it on Facebook. So supposedly be 2 hours of El Maestro talking about anything he wants to talk about, which should
We
be
just gone about
fascinating.
his Devil's collection again.
Is what? Well,
His
the
Devil's
Devils.
collection.
I love the fact he has a shelf full of devils.
Does that mean he's a Satanist?
No, I don't think so. His daughter.
All right. Well,
is
do you have any favourite moments from the show off over the last 4 years of its runs? Because we started, I think. No, it wasn't 2020. No, it wasn't that long, was it? It was. Was it 2022? Was it? Or was it 2021? I don't know.
I can't remember. No, I have no
I
favorite
don't think
moments.
2021.
I have no favorite moments at all. I try to block the show out. I'll be honest, I'll forget from week to week we even have a show, and then you'll send me a link for next show, and I go, oh, damn, I have a show.
Yeah.
You know, people ask me to be on various shows, and then I have to remember, oh, damn, I'm already on one.
Well, you can be on another show. What other shows have you been asked on to?
Yeah, okay. I would like to point out the fact that me being on another show did not work out very well. Remember?
What?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, pretend you don't remember.
You were on another show. You mean Amber's show? Philo?
The show that must not be named.
Okay.
No.
Well, all right. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be. Yeah, you should be handled with caution. Advise that if anyone is thinking of using Dale on the show.
I didn't bring it up. You brought it up.
You know, I don't feel like I've got any proprietary use of Dale. You're welcome to use him, but you know, if you need some tips,
Wow, those are nice.
ask me. I'll tell you the best way to manipulate him into doing your show week after week. It's quite.
Yeah. You want to know how to manipulate me to be on your show? Have a nice house in San Francisco that's a lot of fun to visit. Give me an excuse to go up to San Francisco.
Well, also give you a lot of leeway to talk about Zardoz.
Zardoz is awesome.
Don't go, Dale. Stop going on about Zardoz now. Would you stop going on about Zardoz? Don't do that.
I'm actually out of Zardoz. I'm actually out of Zardoz finger puppets. I have to print some more. I was in Santa Cruz and I was visiting one of two comic shops downtown, Atlantis Fantasy World, and I asked that all the employees and the owner, Joe, have Zardoz finger puppets now. And I asked, do you need any more? And they said yes. Turns out that lots of people need Zardoz finger puppets.
All right. But yeah, you're giving them away. You're not selling them.
Oh yeah,
Or are you selling?
I'm not selling them.
Yeah.
I don't own
Well,
the
yeah,
design.
that would be a violation of the trademark.
It would be unethical because I didn't sculpt that model.
Yeah.
I would have to create my own
Can you
sculpt.
even be distributing them? I mean,
Should I be
even
even
is that
distributing them?
illegal?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
You're not offending
Um,
Zardoz, like
I
the
don't. I
studio
don't.
Zardoz.
I assume that the studio still owns the image of the head, but a lot of people on Etsy sell Zardoz memorabilia, like
Yes, you can
PSA.
only you can make your own version of that head and sell that. Actually, I mean, as long as you don't print Zardoz on it, which is probably a trademark. I don't know,
Oh,
but
there's plenty of Zardoz T-shirts, and I have a Zardoz Tiki mug, which is awesome. I forget the name of the mug maker, but if you look on Etsy, you can find a Zardoz Tiki mug. I recommend getting one. It was packaged amazingly. I've never had an item shipped so securely. And Zardoz pins. You can get some Zardoz pins on Etsy. In fact, I've got to contact PSA Press. I haven't got my Zardoz lapel pins yet. I ordered some, and they are overdue.
so these characters have names here. This is Boz and Baz.
The monkeys, you mean?
Well,
Now, are
they're
they?
wading apes. They're wading apes.
They're waiting. Oh, you mean like talked about in Larry Gonick's wonderful cartoon history of the universe?
Does he talk about wading apes?
Oh yeah, that the idea that in human evolution there was a period where the primates were semi-aquatic, which is why
Yeah.
we are hairless and women have buoyant breasts.
Well, I don't know about all the details of that, but I mean, David Attenborough likes this theory too, but it's not a popular theory. But I do think it really explains why we're all hairless like dolphins, and especially when you know that like dolphins are basically and whales and mammals like dogs and things that went back in the water. And when we see a nice paradise beach like that, we go, "Oh, that's paradise," you know. And how do we know that? We just think it, and you look at
Because
actually they found it with the human genome. We came out of Africa and we went all around like sort of south of India and then down into Australia. That's like the first sort of path of human migration. And
okay,
basically we just traveled along the beaches and had a nice time.
okay, so I can assume that you believe in the waiting ape idea.
Yeah, I'm definitely a
You
big proponent. And so these guys are they're wading apes. They're in what is now Basingstoke. At this time of Earth's history, it was a sort of tropical paradise of like
so
on a
you're
chain of
saying that
islands. But actually, in modern times, this would be Basingstoke.
okay? I was under the impression that Basingstoke was eternal and always a piece of shit.
No, once upon a time, it was paradise.
Basingstoke.
Basingstoke's always been a paradise. I don't know where you get this idea. That's just the media. They're just jealous of Basingstoke, so they try and put out this idea that's a
Yeah.
shithole. It's lovely. People in
It's a
Basingstoke are very
lovely.
lucky.
It's a lovely shithole.
It's really, I mean, honestly, come to America, then you'll see what a real shithole looks like.
You're in America. Well, I don't know if we would count San Francisco.
I'm telling people in
America.
Basingstoke who think Basingstoke's a shithole, they should come to this country, and then they'll really see.
Yes, we do have sometimes an international audience for this show, but I think right now they're asleep.
Trouble is, people are always very glamorized by the surface of things.
You mean glamorized by the United States, or
Just like of everything. Like human beings, very glamorized, they're very easily distracted by the surface.
yes, we're very surface oriented. That's
We're
because
also
we
quite
do
visual
not
oriented.
have echolocation like a dolphin or X-ray vision. You know, I have to wonder with Superman.
Well, we have our intelligence. Our intelligence allows us to perceive more deeply into the future than any other animal.
I don't think so.
Of course we do. We've got like a whole stock market based on perceiving the future.
Dude, if people perceived the future, they would floss more.
But the fact they floss at all, do you see any animals flossing?
Cats eat grass.
Okay, yeah, they have some limited ability, but it's more innate. You know, they have to rely on their instincts more, which is fine, but that's primitive. You know, we got machines for that.
Yes. I don't remember anything now. It's all reminders on my phone.
I don't know what's going on. This pen needs a really good clean. It's in a bit of a state. I might have to spend the rest of the day cleaning pens and brushes.
Yes. Kids, the trick to being a successful artist is procrastination with your art supplies.
It's certainly not wasted. Don't waste a lot of money on art supplies. That's my advice.
No.
I mean, it's okay to do it, but I mean, I'm still using up art supplies I bought 100 years ago because I thought, oh, that would be good.
Kids, you want to spend money on art supplies, especially Apple art supplies. Lots of Apple art supplies.
Apple art supplies?
Yep.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Apple computers. Don't you have like an enormous iMac in the other studio?
All right, yeah, but again, I mean, I don't think that's necessary. Everyone says you just need an iPad and Procreate now.
Don't
I mean,
listen.
I hate
Well,
Procreate.
you need the computer and the iPad. In fact, you need like about 5 iPads.
Yeah. I mean, scanner. I mean, I need my scanner, but again, people use this phones for scanners. I don't know. Maybe that's fine. I think my scanner does the job.
Buy more Apple hardware.
Why would you use a scanner if you're just drawing it right into the computer? I suppose. But I don't know. But don't we have enough bloody computers in our lives all day long?
No.
I mean, it used to be computers horrible things that only the most ghastly nerds were interested in.
Okay.
Now everybody's into that.
I remember the age
when it was nerds.
Okay, I remember the age before personal computers, and you had to go to video arcades to play computer games. It was horrible.
No, I mean, computers have brought us a new age of enlightenment. And also an age of endarkenment, apparently.
Yeah. It's the silicon.
An age of endowment. They were supposed to educate us. They were supposed to educate us, like Obi-Wan at the end of Revenge of the Sith. You were supposed to be the chosen one.
No, don't watch that.
He did do that.
Don't watch those movies.
What?
Don't watch those movies.
Why? Why do you not like George Lucas? Why do you hate?
Those movies,
Why do you hate George Lucas?
Star
He's
Wars
given us so much.
ruined. Star Wars ruined science fiction movies and science fiction.
It certainly ruined any chance of a Zardoz sequel. Once people saw Star Wars, it was like no one was clamoring for a Zardoz sequel after that.
Hey, Zardoz 2 would have been awesome.
It still will be. Don't worry. Look, do you think sooner or later your efforts there are going to pay off? And people will start going on about these Zardoz heads, and some Hollywood producer's going to get the idea, and they're going to go, "Wow, look, we own this property."
My hope
Next thing
is to convince Super 7 in San Francisco, and I recommend toys made by Super 7 to come out with Zardoz toys. And the way I do this is I usually complain like an idiot when I see them at the San Jose Super Toy Show. But now I'm giving them Zardoz finger puppets. So from now on, every time when I'm at a toy show and Super 7 is there, I'm going to give them Zardoz finger puppets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the trick is, you can't just make Zardoz toys. You have to make an animated Zardoz. You've got to get down to Hollywood. You've got to find who owns this property, and you've got to go get them to invest in a Zardoz animated series by, convincing them of Zardoz's cult credentials and how they can make all these Zardoz toys off it. How well the Zardoz finger puppets are doing, and how many copies of Zardoz DVDs people are willingly taking off your hands. And they'll see the potential.
Hey.
If there is any potential. If they think it's a stupid idea, they'll say, "Dale, that's a ridiculous idea." Keep your hands off our Zardoz, or we'll cease and desist you.
Okay. Considering all the remakes that have been made, do you really think that it's that far-fetched that they wouldn't remake Zardoz?
No, that's not exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that they'll probably think it's a great idea with all these sequels that are going on.
It is a great idea.
They're do anything they can to avoid having an original idea.
It is a great idea. That movie is incredibly underrated.
This pen's got really blocked up. I'm gonna have to sort of bathe. I'm gonna have this pen's gonna need a bath. You know what? I know what it is. I left the ink out overnight and it got dried up.
You need to get one of those ultrasonic cleaners. That's what we all had in the 80s because we all had airbrushes, and to clean our airbrushes and our tech pens, we got ultrasonic cleaners. So get yourself an ultrasonic cleaner.
And okay, well that's like those toothbrushes where it vibrates.
Oh yeah, it vibrates.
Do they come in different sizes?
Yes, they do, surprisingly. Ultrasonic cleaners are used for various different reasons. Jewelers will use them to remove investment material from the lost wax metal casting.
All right. Yes. Well, jewelry and cutting coming in the show.
Get yourself an ultrasonic cleaner. Trust me. Buy more.
Well, I really like this thing's just absolutely clogged up here.
Or you could just
still making marks.
You could just. It has occurred to you, you could just put a new pen nib in.
I don't know why this one's suddenly so. I mean, it must be because I left the ink out. I guess that's a bad idea.
You should get a fountain pen like Sergio.
I bought this big thing of ink. I've still got lots left. But yeah, I can't, yeah, that's no good if you're going to clog up like that. I think I've somewhat. I've got different things. But the trouble is I don't have any really water down here. I mean, there is. Oh, actually, the car's not here. Actually, today's a good day to do it. Sorry, muttering away. Brush cleaner and preserver. Cleans oil paint, watercolor, acrylic stains.
Yeah. Everybody buys that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've had this one for ages, but I've got some bars of it as well.
Yeah. Okay. You see, kids, when you work in art supply stores, you want the add-on sales to increase the profit margin. And everybody needs a new bar of brush cleaner soap. It's like selling a mouse pad at a computer store. Well, it used to be like selling a mouse pad because everyone needed a mouse pad. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Brush cleaner soap. Yeah, that's like a no-brainer. You put them by the register.
Oh, by the way, thanks to everybody who's ever bought a Pupil mouse pad over the years. I think you can still get Pupil mouse pads on my Redbubble store, or possibly on Cafe Press. I don't know. Redbubble doesn't really do mouse pads. I don't know. Maybe they do, but I think Cafe Press still does mouse pads. I probably still have. I haven't checked on Cafe Press right there. I could have $1 million on Cafe Press. I wouldn't know about it apparently.
I just bought a Pewfell the other day. I was at Atlantis Fantasy World, and there was a copy in their graphic novels bin.
Yeah, the bargain discount bin. That's been there for a long time.
Yes.
Well, one of the old black and white ones.
It's not now.
Was it one of the old Wingnut Games black and white ones?
Yes.
I'm going to get number 3.
I don't remember. It's in the trunk of my car.
Yeah, like number 3s are very hard to come by.
When you're a retail addict, what you do is you just buy stuff and leave it in the trunk of your car. I think I have a phaser in the trunk of my car right now. I should get up during the show, like you did, and left me here alone, and get some stuff out of my car.
Oh, I thought you'd know how to switch things around by now. Sorry.
No. I don't know any of that stuff.
Well, it's all right. This is probably the last episode. It's certainly the last episode for the next couple of weeks. You know, if I come back after that, it will be only due to popular demand.
Really?
I know. That's never stopped me before, has it?
I thought we would talk about something like that. You're killing the show?
No. I've got to take 2 weeks off anyway.
Okay, so you're taking 2 weeks off. You're not killing the show.
No, but sometimes you take 2 weeks off. That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the end of the season. It's like we finished the season. There'll be a new season. I'm sure we'll get renewed for a new season.
Yes.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what's happening next. What's happening next is I've got to do the Kickstarter for Astrokitty and Urfspace.
Okay.
I've got a new song from Isaac. And I'm ready to go on that, I think. I mean, I've got to, do a Kickstarter video, set the Kickstarter, I think some stretch goals. I think I'll keep it I'll do like a sort of fairly low goal to get the book done. I'll do paperback book, hardback book, EP, and then a big stretch goal will be do an event. I don't even know if I want to do an event.
Okay.
Like last time, the event was a lot of work and money. Cost a lot more. I don't know. Tina made me spend a whole lot of money on framing the pictures, which I really didn't think was a great idea, but I did it.
How about How about your big goal is an original piece of artwork?
Well, I mean, people will be able to get people will be able to get original art. That's definitely on the menu. But I'm talking about in terms of stretch goals. Like stretch goals is an additional thing that I'm going to make.
Okay, additional. Okay.
So beyond like paperback book, hardback book, EP. I don't know. Animated video. I mean, I've got to sort of make an animated video anyway.
You need to be doing more animated videos. That's certain.
Oh, but they're so time-consuming. Look at this. Look, I did all these like cartoons in the same time that I could have made like 1 second of animated film. 30 frames a second. I've got 30 cartoons. I would have made like 30. I would have made 1 second of animated film.
That's true.
It's not worth it. I mean, it's probably worth it if you're like a large corporation. And you're trying to cash in on a popular property. All right, is this going to work now? I've cleaned it a bit. I'm probably going to get deported any minute anyway.
That's true. I'm waiting for the ICE agents to break in during the show and put a sack over your head and deport you as undesirable.
Yeah, send me back to El Salvador, where I'm waiting punishment for a number of crimes.
Now, is Basingstoke in El Salvador?
I don't know if there is there may be a Basingstoke in El Salvador. I don't know.
Well, it would be El Basingstoke, or maybe it's San Basingstoke, like San Jose.
I did find a Basingstoke in the USA, by the way.
Really?
Yes.
I wonder if it's inhabited by Basingstoke.
If the producer was here, I'd tell him to go find him.
Now tell me about this. Tell me about this puppet thing that you were working on.
And it's telling me Basingstoke's in the UK, not the USA. No, Basingstoke, Delaware, USA.
Tell me about this puppet thing that you were working on in Marin.
Oh yes, so Woander World. Yeah, I'll show you that. Okay, Google Maps won't show me Basingstoke in the USA, but I think there is one. Right, let me find Woander World. There it is. I've still got that tab open. All right, let's even that. Here we go. Here's Woander World. You can't really see all that, can you? It says, join us on grand opening day. There's no room on here. I need more room on my screen. And now there's no room for this. Okay, join us on our grand opening day. Mill Valley, 73 Throckmorton on April 19th. Family-friendly games, storytelling. Okay, so it's a store. This is a store opening, but there's going to be a live magic show, open gameplay, puppet greeters, and a puppet making activity. So they're going to be puppets. I just saw another puppet video the other day. Let me see if I can go to their Instagram somewhere. Hang on. Instagram. Well, okay, there's some of these. Okay, there's different things here. Okay, so it wants me to log in. Oh, God, I don't know what it is. All right, wait. Okay. Well, you'll just have to go there. There are some videos of the puppets that you can sort of see in there. These are the character drawings I did: Barnaby and Niebling.
Can't see it.
Okay, that's a
Can't
new
see
name.
a single.
You can't see any of
Not at
that. Okay, won't show you Instagram. All right. Oh no, that's in the okay. That's gone in the wrong tab. That's why. Okay. Okay. I don't. Okay. What do I do? Okay. Can you see that now?
A little bit, yeah. So you did the Niebling.
He just started posting things on this account, so yes. But there are some of these puppets are there. Let me see. It's just trouble is this is big. It's not really letting me look at anything unless I sign in. I don't really have my login with Facebook. Okay. Okay, I've got to put in my security code. All right. Barnaby. All right, there's Barnaby.
Okay. And that's one of the signature characters of the project.
Yes.
Did you design Barnaby?
Yes. Yes, I did. Oh wait, well, okay. When did we get to Barnaby? There he is. Yes. So I did this drawing of Barnaby and some other drawings of Barnaby.
Okay.
And then that was the puppet that was made from the drawings. Now, in the case of the Niebling, he sort of gave me a description, do this. But then after I did it, he said, "Oh, I've already got a puppet for it. It looks like this." I was like, "Well, why didn't you show me that before?" But he's like, "No, I want it to be more like your drawing." That was just I happen to have that puppet, so I'm a bit confused what he's still just sort of trying everything out. But all right, so these are nice little puppets that were made by this puppet maker guy who's done all sorts of stuff with the Henson Workshop. And actually, there's a bigger video. Okay, here's a new puppet. Okay, this one I think is the tree.
Okay.
But I don't think you're going to show us all in this video. But it's basically like a face that goes on the side of a tree puppet. There's the
Nice.
eye. Okay. That's all you get of that one for now. What's this? This is sort of inside the store here. Okay, so yeah, they've been making this tree. This is the inside of the store that they've been decorating. Oh, there's some of the other puppets. Oh, there's Barnaby.
Cool.
All right, that's that.
Believe it or not, I am now involved with something similar.
Yes, we mentioned that. There's Matthew. You've seen him before, right? He came on the show. We've had him on the show one time, maybe 2 times.
There was a
He's got legitimacy. He's using legitimacy to sign kids up for camps. That's good. All right. Well, somebody's got to do it. Thank you, Matthew.
I'm involved. Well, actually, not me. My cat, Huey, is involved with a project that's being built in the Capitola Mall called Middle of, and it's being put together by Ricky Vincent and the Puppetry Institute, and it will be an immersive art experience with puppets and sculpture, and you will travel between different realities with the help of Dr. Mercurio. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And hopefully that will be opening sometime in May. And so I'll let people know more about that. But I've seen the work in progress. A lot of it done by Ricky, a lot of it done by his students and volunteers. It's going to be fun. It'll be like an old-fashioned haunted house or old-school Disneyland kind of thing.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to that opening. I got a preview of it yesterday. And you can learn more about it by Googling the Puppetry Institute.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is very interesting that we're both getting involved in these puppetry projects.
I think that's what happens with. Well, the interesting thing is if you read the history of Jim Henson was a cartoonist, and because he wanted to get on TV, he got involved with puppetry. I suspect that both you and I are at some point going to end up as either puppeteers or puppets.
In some strange alien zoo.
Some alien puppet show. Well, you know, our buddy Amber was.
Oh wait, no, Greg. I was going to have Greg come on the show. I pretty much forgot. So did I?
Wait, you forgot to have Greg on the show today?
Okay.
Man, you are horrible friends.
He was going to come on. I'll send him the link quickly.
Man.
Sorry.
You're a horrible host. Horrible.
Wait, that's not the right link though. Wait, this is the wrong link. Where's the link?
How would I know?
Dale, wait, no, Dale and Charles. There we go. I sent you the link last night, right? Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Copy. Well, he's taking a nap now.
Who is? Greg?
Greg. He's
Wake him up.
Taking a nap.
Wake him up.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh well, I think we missed. All right, sorry about that. I wish you'd come in the comments. He didn't come in the comments and leave a comment. Say hello. All right. Look, if you're ever invited on the show and I forgot about it, just come in the comments and say hi. I'm here. Let me in. Let you in. All right. Well, we haven't got any viewers nowadays anyway.
Well, people watch. You know, I share us to different groups. You know, we probably get viewers. People watch recordings of the show, maybe.
Yeah, people look in later sometimes. Yeah.
Anyway.
Never mind. Now, you said something about cartoons needing borders the other day.
You gotta give that a border. Wait. Where's the other one?
Concept. Well, I finished thinking that one.
Well, I want to see it.
The next one. Oh, well, it's been sitting there for
Okay,
ages.
where's the Statue of Liberty?
There's no Statue of
Where's
Liberty.
the starfish? Where's
There's
the
no
little
starfish.
crab?
There could be a star. Why do I need a starfish and a crab? There's a snail and a tortoise and a
Okay,
fish.
whenever you have
And
a beach scene, you always have a starfish or a clam.
why?
Because that's just the way it is. Now, do you have a bird somewhere in one of those trees?
Yeah, there's a bird
Wait,
in the
why
tree.
does that?
It's like
Okay,
a
if
toucan.
it's a toucan, why doesn't it have a band on its beak?
It
I
does.
can't see it.
The starfish came out wrong. What? No, they're so annoying. You tell me all these things. It's way too late. I
Okay,
love putting it all
and
in
why isn't
wonky.
there a volcano in the background?
There is a volcano, but you can't see it.
Okay, put another volcano in with a little plume of smoke coming out.
Okay.
God. These cartoon cliches exist for a reason.
Well, why do you have to follow the cliches?
Because
I hate
cartooning
cliches.
is all about cliches. Humor is all about.
If you say so, Dale.
Humor is all about the low-hanging fruit, and cartooning's all about cliches.
According to some arbitrary rule book made up by arbitrary rule makers.
Yes. And they're right. Yes, they are. Remember, if you want to,
till the next lot come along and say, "Oh, those people were a bunch of idiots in the past. If only they'd been as smart as we are now in the future."
you want to go for the lowest common denominator. Always. I've known people.
Well,
I've known people who have gone for the high art hipster intelligence route with their art, and that's how you become a starving artist. You want to sell out, kids. Sell out as quickly and as largely as possible. Art is a service, and you want to just pander.
Well, the way I heard it, there's two ways you can go. You can be a commercial way, in which case be commercial, learn all the tricks, be commercial, or be an artist and follow your heart. There's not really any other way to go.
I forget who wrote it, but there's a really interesting book. I'm sorry, not a book, an article about the barbell strategy of being a starving artist. And they encourage you to think of being an artist like being an entrepreneur. And you,
as what?
As an entrepreneur, you want to
sure. That's why I went.
You want to think of each of your art projects as a startup, and you want to be as disruptive and unique as possible.
Sounds ghastly.
No. But
why does everything have to be disruptive and unique? Doesn't that become extremely boring after a while?
Okay, there's no talking to you this morning. You're being deliberately.
Yeah, because all these things are full of shit.
No, they're not.
You love all these things that somebody come along, some expert told you something, and then you believe it.
That's That's why they're experts. They're believed.
Yeah, they spent way too much time on that one subject. Then you start seeing all sorts of things that aren't
You're
really
sounding
there.
like
And then the next lot come along and say, that was a load of rubbish. How could they ever have believed that?
you sound like an anti-intellectual.
No, I'm just saying that intellectuals need to be a little smarter.
They are smart. That's why they're called intellectuals.
Yeah, then once you start thinking you're smart, then you're in trouble.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, artist know-it-all. You know who you want to listen to? People who work in art supply stores.
Well, what do you think I have you on my show for? I mean, I think I listen to you quite a lot, even though it may not seem like it.
People who work in art supply stores, they have a lot of time and they think about a lot of stuff, so they're usually right.
Okay. But aren't their thoughts continually getting distracted by people saying, what kind of pen should I use?
No, because they know what kind of pen the person should use, so they can quickly answer the question.
Okay, so they just look at you and say you should use one of these. So that's just like, just quickly assessing.
It's like a script.
Stereotype.
It's a script. You know what to recommend the customer.
Yeah, exactly. You're just selling them shit. I don't trust anyone who's trying to sell me anything.
Don't you have a Kickstarter coming?
What? The Kickstarter, exactly. You're not selling anything. You're asking people to donate to your art project.
Okay.
But I'm very much lying when I'm selling things. Yes, I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, that's part of the joke. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you believe it, then it must be true.
No,
there's art or a dollar bill. Like, which is worth more?
I can't remember the last really big Kickstarter I backed. I think it was Hunt Emerson. He had a book coming out, and I got a book by him. But it was nice. The grand prize, he had a number of stretch goals, and the biggest prize was actually the cover art for the book.
Yeah.
Which I thought it was really cheap at the price, so I ended up getting it, and then I discovered exactly how much it costs to ship something from Old Blighty to the United States. It was not a cheap.
Well, I suppose if you've got to do a big flat thing, like the big piece of art, probably it is a bit. Yeah. I mean, I usually use a flat rate mailer, but even that's about $50 now.
But that was a bucket item. That was a bucket list thing for me to actually own an original by Hunt Emerson. So I try to buy, and I recommend to people to buy the artwork, the original artwork from cartoonists you admire.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be way more valuable in the future because the people in the future, they're not going to have a clue about like all your old-fashioned art. They're going to be like, "What the hell is this crap? I want cartoons."
If you could have original art by any cartoonist that you don't already own, what would that? I mean, whose strip or one panel would you want?
probably like a Freak Brothers panel, Gilbert Shelton, just because they were the more than anything that made me like really think, oh, I want to, these are clever things, and I want to do that.
That's cool.
I don't know. I mean, there's obviously there's lots of nice Judge Dredd bits and stuff like that too, but there's lots of things I can think of.
Okay, give me another one.
I don't know, original Vaughn Baudet, maybe.
That would be nice. Mark is over in Japan right now, and he showed a photo of a prototype plush of one of the lizards, and if they actually
I saw that.
Make that, I'm getting one.
Yeah, I talked to him at Fan Expo a little bit.
I missed him at the Fan Expo. I was an idiot. I haven't seen him since the San Diego Comic Fest years ago. No, Andrew reminded us it's been a year now since we lost Trina Robbins.
Oh, yeah. Well,
her partner Steve, who we saw at the Fan Expo in Frisco, he's going to be at the Sacramento, I don't know if they call it a toy fair or toy con, but I'm debating whether or not to go to Sacramento. Of course, I'm loyal to the San Jose Super Toy Show, but I wouldn't mind a trip to Sacramento. Do you often go to Sacramento, Chuck?
No. I used to have to go up there more often. I used to go see the doctor there, but then he moved to Oakland, fortunately. The spina bifida guy. That was years ago, though.
I haven't been to Sacktown in a long time. Supposedly there's a magic store. There are very few good magic stores left anymore.
Well, what about the one in San Francisco down on Irving
I have
Street
never
there?
been to that one. Have you?
Well, a long time ago, not recently. But I think it's still there. I mean, I think I just saw it recently.
I should go. I haven't been to Frisco in a while. It is acceptable.
You just like saying
It's
Frisco.
acceptable.
You just like saying Frisco and then saying, I'm
allowed
to say Frisco because I live in San. Yes. Are you?
No, actually, I'm not. I'm not allowed to say Frisco.
I have a real problem with this.
Nice work.
I always do
You're
this.
so much faster than I am. I hate you.
Well, yeah, I have to be fast. My body won't allow me to sit that still for that long.
I think I would want a peanut strip.
Sorry?
If I could have any original I wanted, it would be a peanut strip.
Oh, you want a peanut? Sorry, I thought you said something about you wanted a penis extension or something. What did you say?
Dude, if it was any longer, I wouldn't be able to walk. I'd be tripping over it all the time.
Oh wait, I just thought of something and I forgot it again. Oh, do you know this guy Dr. Popular,
No idea.
who does the yo-yo tricks? So he organised a cartoonist conspiracy meetup this week, which was good. And I went along, and some people there, including Apple and Jeff was there, and lots of other people. Actually, it was a very well attended meetup. But I didn't really know most of the other people. But I met
Why
a few
don't
people.
you fill us in what that group is? Because I haven't heard of them in a million years.
Well, okay, so he was reviving it. Yes, they used to meet regularly, and I would never really go because I don't know. It was more when I was a bit more busy with stuff. So, and I was that's when I was sort of more. I don't know. Sam was little, or I was living on Leavenworth Street, or living here. But yeah, they would meet in the early 2000s, up to about 2011. I think they still had meetings. I don't know, but they haven't had one in a while. But he thought he'd get it together, and I don't know who got on the list or why. Like there was a lot of people there, and we did a jam comic, and it was very fun. Everybody did a few panels. We all had a really good time. But the reason I asked, because Doc Popular, he was wearing a fez.
Yeah.
And I was looking at him, he's like, oh, he's a lot like Dale. He's a lot like you.
It
wasn't just the fez. There were some other things.
Think that I ran into the cartoonist conspiracy years ago. Can't remember if it was at WonderCon in Anaheim or WonderCon in Frisco. And I do remember the fez. I guess that's part of their official uniform.
Well, he was certainly wearing one. I don't know. Jeff wasn't wearing one. And Jeff was the only one who, I think, from before. I mean, I don't know. Some of them may have been there before because, like I say, I didn't really go to them a lot. I mean, I may have gone to one or two. But I don't really quite. I mean, I would go to occasionally go to meetups and things. But I'm not sure which ones were Cartoonist Conspiracy now or under other monikers.
Let's. Anyway, I'm kind of off. I'm off fezzes now. I'm more into Victorian smoking hats.
Yeah, I think the Victorian smoking hat is a better one for you.
The Victorian smoking hat is like the sweatpants of a fez. A fez is more formal. But
I was always wondering, like, does Dale have? Is like Dr. Popular some brother of Dale's that he never talked about?
You see, I've reached the.
You don't have a secret twin brother that you never mentioned.
I've reached the age where I look like a lot of people now.
I guess that's what it is.
Old guys tend to look like each other.
Especially if they're kind of the guys that wear fezzes. You know. If I put on a fez, I'd look the same too.
Not everyone can pull off a fez. I can't.
Yeah. No, I think definitely. I mean, different hats suit different people for sure.
Personally,
I don't know. We were watching Geostorm with Gerard Butler last night, which was pretty terrible. I really can't recommend it in any way.
Okay, good to know.
But Tina started going on, I look like Gerard Butler, which I was like, okay, that was great. I don't think I do, but there's something wrong in her.
Are you talking about Tina? Yeah.
Yeah. She thinks I look like Gerard Butler, and she also thinks I look like who's the other one? Russell Crowe. I'm like, okay, that's very nice. I'm glad you think that.
Let her live her fantasy.
I guess it's to my advantage that you see me that.
Let Tina live her fantasy. Personally, I think you have more of a Popeye vibe.
Yeah. I like to think I'm somewhere between Sweepy and Pappy. I don't know. I feel really bad about forgetting. I forgot Greg was coming on the show today. I asked him about it weeks ago. He couldn't come on before, and then he was like, "Oh, I can do it then." And I was like, "Okay," but then I don't know.
Okay, I'd like to.
But now I'm not doing it for a couple of weeks. Greg's got a Kickstarter on, so he's kickstarting Hamlet Mania Book 2 already, issue 2. Oh,
I want to point out to Greg, this was not my fault.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Dale's fault. I didn't even tell him.
Yeah. I'm blameless.
Well, Greg's partly explained because now he's gone off to have a nap, so can't have you on if you're going to have a nap.
I don't blame him for wanting a nap. I always want a nap after the show.
It is a little too early being on a Saturday morning. I mean, if I come back, I might do it at a different time. I don't know. The Saturday morning thing has sort of been fun. I don't know. I guess out of the way. Tina thinks I should keep doing it.
It might be a good idea for us to change to an evening format. You know?
Yeah. I think my idea of like getting up early on Saturday morning and being like Tiz was and having the kids come and tune in. It was sort of fun. It was fun for a bit. Ooh, smudgy.
You want to smudge it with your wrist?
Well, the side of my finger. That's all right. It's not too bad. It's just a nice blur effect at this point.
Still think you should put in a volcano.
There's no volcano in this picture. This is I'm doing the time machine one.
Put a volcano in.
I've done plenty of volcanoes and plenty of seeds. I'm like tired of volcanoes. Probably the reason I didn't do it is because it's like I'm getting a bit tired of doing volcanoes all the time.
I like volcanoes.
All right. But what about what you were saying about being surprising and anarchist and breaking the rules?
Yes, but you want to do it in a predictable way so that people
disrupting.
So that
like how is always drawing a volcano in any way disruptive? That's just conforming to the long-held stereotypes. I mean, the best thing, you've got to do a mashup. You have to do something that people already know, but then like, oh, I never thought of it that way before. You know, like that's all the successful things, like Star Wars and Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, whatever. You know, it's like, oh, I already know it. You know, you've got wizards and elves and dragons, but oh, you do it.
Harry Potter's J.K. Rowling's is in the news again. She
what's she up to now? I do think it's so funny. And I was like, J.K. Rowling, please tell us what you think. For years and years, she wouldn't say anything. Then finally she goes, oh, I've got to speak up now.
He is not too happy with the asexuals.
Asexuals now. She doesn't like What's wrong with asexuals? They never hurt anybody.
I don't know.
Like, asexuals don't even have sex. They're not interested in sex. We need more asexuals. What was she complaining? Why has she got a problem with asexuals?
No.
So really, she's just very horny. Is that what I'm getting to understand from all this? She just wants everybody. She just wants everybody enjoying heteronormative sex. What is it she wants? No, she's all right with gay people because Dumbledore was gay. Okay, she doesn't want people changing sex.
Well,
right?
that I don't understand, because she introduced this stuff called polyjuice potion in the first book, where you're able to change your appearance, and that includes species.
Yeah, you can change. Yeah, Hermione changed someone into a cat. I mean, what more kinky than that?
What are you telling me, that the teens at Hogwarts who have learned how to make those potions aren't like turning themselves into various types of animals and people and making out? I can't believe that.
Well, one, I think it was illegal, and two, you had to get like a hair off them or something, didn't you?
Dude, it's a high school. Teenagers are hairy.
Harry Potter.
See? It's in the title. What?
So that's it. So she just like sort of hairy.
It's more
guys,
like horny Potter. Don't ever
Horny Harry Potter. That sounds like quite a good time. I want to do horny Harry Potter. I was going to do Harry Potter Fingles. Like Puffer was going to have his like annoying nephew come and stay, who would be Harry Potter Fingles, and he'd be always trying to solve mysteries.
Okay, you.
That was years ago. That was only when the first books were out. I never really got to.
You do.
Harry Potter. It was going to be called Horny Harry Potter Fingles, and the Saucer Full of Secrets.
You do not want to Google or read any Harry Potter fanfic.
Horny Harry Potter.
Do not want to do that. I actually was writing Harry Potter fanfic for a while. 1,000 pages worth, and I couldn't get them out of the pillow fight.
Wait, you wrote 1,000 pages of Harry Potter fanfic?
Yeah, but it was all about a pillow fight. With the
in the girls' dorm.
The Gryffindor girls. Yeah. My friends who read samples of it said it was the most amazing pillow fight ever put to paper. So I have that going for me.
Okay.
But
you could probably do a whole like niche porn with like just pillow fight porn.
Oh, I'm sure it's
just for people who like pillow fights. Well, all right, then you'll find a welcoming community.
I do like welcoming communities.
Yeah. I mean, comics I find is pretty welcoming community. They're good. I don't like games. It's interesting. They're much less welcoming communities.
Games.
In games, they're like, oh, that's shit. What the fuck are you doing?
Video games can be quite gatekeeping and nasty.
I think comics probably was too when people cared about
it. Well, I've seen people be pretty nasty about superhero stuff.
Yeah. I suppose. Once you're sort of doing all that Marvel stuff.
Yeah, you know what surprised me? Peanuts fans.
All the corporate bootlickers will get upset with you.
Peanuts fans. I got yelled at by an ex-worker at the Schultz Museum. Yeah.
Wait, what? What happened?
Yelled at by an ex-worker at the Schultz Museum for stuff I was posting on the Facebook.
Like you managed to make yourself pretty unpopular everywhere you go.
That is true.
Have to say. Like, what did you do?
That is true. If I'm not making myself unpopular, I'm not breathing.
Yeah, you're like Dr. Unpopular.
I am unpopular.
Because Dr. Popular, he got all these people to show up to his events. I was like, oh, you don't. popular. It's definitely popular. You're like, what? Why were they yelling you at the Schultz
I
Museum?
can't remember
I'm sorry.
what drivel I was writing. Usually I like to write. Oh, I remember I was saying that, Peanuts would have been a whole lot better if Schultz had kept the cat. Schultz introduced Farron, a cat, to the strip. It was
yeah, there was a cat that it had a sort of saggy backbone, and the girl
it was
carried it
Frida's
around.
cat, Farron, and
Yeah,
she introduced Farron to Snoopy. And, Snoopy was just completely confused by this cat who just wanted to be friendly. And Schultz,
Oh, I just remember the cat not
yeah,
doing anything.
he
It just sort of
wrote
lay
he
there and
wrote
just sort of
later
like,
that I don't think he liked the design of the cat, and he didn't really know how to.
yeah, it didn't quite
Yeah.
fit. It did seem a bit out of
But
it.
the
Yeah.
thing is, I think he really should have pursued it, because cat strips, are very popular. So I said, more people would have heard of this Peanuts strip if he had kept the cat. And then I would point to examples like Mutts and.
And they didn't think that you were being ironically
Yeah,
funny there.
they
when
took
said
me a
that.
little
They
too
were like,
seriously.
It could have been more popular.
Yeah, they took me a little too.
There's nothing more popular than Peanuts, so you know that.
But I do believe that, actually, because he did have a lot of those running gags with World War II.
Yeah.
And
Snoopy and the Red Baron. Well, that was a big hit for them, that Snoopy and the Red Baron song.
oh yeah, I remember that as a kid.
You're going to lean into that, aren't you?
I remember that song. It was on the radio as a kid. I think I even had the single that I played on my little record player.
I wonder if they had it in England. I don't think I really heard about it as much
No,
as I heard about it here anyway.
The thing is, they would have had to convert that record to metric.
Yeah, probably. No, that was before everything went metric, wasn't it?
When did England go metric?
I remember when I was at school, because I was having to learn. I was like, "What is all this stuff about inches?" And I don't understand it. And then all they said, "Oh, next." Then all of a sudden we're like, "Oh, we're doing everything in centimeters now," and it was like so much easier. Can't tell. I was like, "Oh, okay, great, centimeters, good. Fuck inches." Then of course I have a big idea. Let's move to America and get to America, and they're like, "Wait, we do everything in inches,
dude."
And I thought you were supposed to be. I thought you were supposed to be like an advanced country. They're like, "No, we're backwards.
Man,
We're
I
backwards
remember.
Anytime anyone tries to introduce anything new or sensible, we're going to be thoroughly against
I
it."
remember the push to go metric, and then the push against it.
Why? Why? Because it's going to make the world more
easier
and less complicated, and we're all going to get on and we'll be on the same page. Oh no, we don't want that. This is America.
Yeah, and
we all want to be all living on our little huts, fighting
each other. The people
who
were against us going metric, they want us to go back to cubits. They want us to go to biblical measurements.
They want us all to be living in little huts built out of mud and just constantly fighting each other, but with extremely high-tech weapons.
Yes. You can't have any books, but you can have a fully automatic machine gun. I was actually arguing with someone before the show online, because I argue with everyone, about concealed weapons permits. And this guy is upset that he can't get a concealed weapons permit. And I am completely against the average Joe having a concealed weapons permit. People are stupid.
Yeah, I mean, why does anyone need a bloody weapon?
Well, because they're fun.
Or defend
They're fun.
myself from enough
Guns are
people.
fun. I am completely for the Second Amendment.
All right. How are we doing on time?
We're
Oh,
over.
end of the show.
We're over. Let's. Want to do a few more minutes yet, or do you want to end it? I would like to have a few more minutes. Color. I got to throw in some green.
All right.
Oh, I got to draw a tail. Hang on, I got to draw a tail quickly.
Oh, hello. Anonymous user says, "Sup, soldiers." Hi, anonymous user.
What did he say?
He says, "Oh, it's these guys again."
What did he say?
Yeah, it's us guys again.
Hey.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's these guys again. Like we just popped up.
Yeah,
it's us again. We'll be back. I don't know.
Oh yeah, tell our viewer that we're going to be gone for a little while.
Yeah, unfortunately, we will not be here the next 2 weeks. I shall be at the Schultz Museum in Santa Rosa next Saturday, and the following Saturday I will be at the Peninsula Libraries Comics Art Fest at the South San Francisco Public Library and Parks and Rec Center.
That's an excuse for me to go up to the Schultz Museum, to go to Santa Rosa, visit the Bat Cave.
Yeah, of course it is.
I highly recommend the Bat Cave as a source for collectible toys.
Well, yes, okay, but if you are going up that way that weekend, you should also go to the Woander World store opening. Well, Woander World in Throckmorton, 73 Throckmorton in Mill Valley.
Ooh, I guess I'll have to go to that.
So, yeah, go check it out. It's a new retail store there. You'll like it. They're stocking many of my books and games.
Oh, we didn't do my retail roundup.
No, we didn't have time for that today.
There's always time for retail.
But we did start a little late, so we're having a little extra stoppage time here, and I had to go.
There was always time for retail.
Right.
God.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back with a report on that. Yeah, go to the YouTube channel.
You want to end the show,
of me painting at Lady Starbeast. I got to end the show. It's time to end the show.
I want to end the show.
You can't have like these shows that run on and on.
Are you going to show? Oh, that's a nice cartoon. Wow, man, you just whip these things out. I take forever. You want to put mine up?
Oh yeah, where's yours? Hang on. I'm sorry you missed Greg. Yeah, go back Greg's Kickstarter for Hamlet Mania 2, which I haven't done yet. I need to do that as well. Sorry, Greg. I feel really bad. That would have been fun to have him on the show. I was like, what are we going to do on the show today? If I only had remembered or checked my calendar or done anything. Wait, what is going on with your drawing there? I'm trying to make it out. There's Falstaff. Captain Falstaff. He's got cats on his shoulders. There's not too many green leaves about.
There are, but I just haven't put the color in yet.
He's interested. Oh, look, I've got a plaster on my leg. How did you know I had a plaster on my leg?
Because I know everything. But
how do you know that?
Tina calls me and gives me updates about you.
Yeah, he's got a plaster on his leg, and he didn't tell me. Tina doesn't even know I've got a plaster on my leg.
Hey, your fans stalk. I'm your biggest fan. I stalk you. Oh, damn it! I put that line on the one.
It's the right leg. It's just right. It's right there. How did you do that? That's uncanny.
Yeah, well, I am uncanny. Dude, you can... I could tell when you were walking back and forth to the studio.
You could see something about my gait.
Yeah, I could tell that you were injured.
My gait.
No, I put that way too low. It needs to go up. No, that's wrong. There, that's better. Okay, so I'm gonna color in the greenleys and probably put some darks on the boots. And I have to go to lunch with Sabrina today, which not have to, want to. Sabrina's back in town, and so
she's back in town.
She's back in town.
You make it sound like a bicycle gang.
She is very gangy.
Well, I remember, you told me that story about how you met. Wait, who was passed out?
Stop, shut. That's enough. That's enough. I mean,
which one?
The truth of that story is no one was passed out. It's just the hotel lobby didn't have any couches or chairs, and their floor was extremely comfortable. That's the site.
All right. What else is going on in this drawing room? Popping up.
Yes.
He's sitting on the couch. He's been in the wars. What is he looking at, though? He's leaning over. He's looking at something. Wait, I haven't figured that out. Can you zoom in on what he's looking at? Oh, there's other little kittens. What? They're emerging out of his hat. Okay. And what are they saying? Sorry, we shit on your head. We shit in your hat. And they're saying, is it okay that we shit in your hat? That's my caption.
Okay. You and Tina need to get another pet.
I'm kind of really enjoying not having the responsibility of a pet right now.
Get a low responsibility pet. Get yourself a cat. I mean, they're mind-numbingly expensive, but
all right. Well, talking about mind-numbing, I'm going to end the show. We can talk about my pet needs off the air. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yes, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Really appreciate you, viewers. Anonymous user, Earth Your Art reminds me of Gary Larson. All right, thank you. Yes. Well, he's one of the greatest. So I mean, I'll take that comparison. I'm not sure.
See, if we did the retail roundup, I could show you my new finger puppet.
Oh, is it a Gary Larson finger puppet?
No, it's a bunny.
Okay, yeah.
I got this this was the last one at Bookshop Santa Cruz, so I don't know when they're going to get more. And I got it because whenever I wear my top hat out, people will ask, "Where's the rabbit?" And I felt really bad I don't have a rabbit. So now I can just have a rabbit.
Just keep that in your hat. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So
if only ideas like that were what was appreciated in this world. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
We love you. We'll be back again. There'll be a new season in 3 weeks. I hope, inshallah. But if not, you can catch up on old episodes on YouTube, and I'll try and check in from these places that I'm at the next weekend. I'll do a little video or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I'm just going to Google.
All right, my name's Chuck Whelan, Urfspace. Please like and subscribe at Urfspace. My co-host is Mr. Dale Sipperley. He's the guy in the top hat. I'm the other guy. And we'll see you soon. Cheers.
Here's a theme song for Chuck Whelan Showy. He asked me to write one, but I stole from David Bowie. Here's a theme song. Chuck Whelan is the best. We have lots of hosts, but we're running out of gas. Will you be our guest on? Will you be our guest on? Be on the Chuck Whelan Show. Whoa, 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 whoa.
If you're gonna have a show, you